Yeah, we are starting out our this next video, live video for studying out history. Again, keep in mind whatever we are discussing here, they are just at glance. I'm giving you just guideline, and rest of the study you have to do from our video lectures. They are available on this channel UPSC-Guru, as well as they are available on our another channel, that is Savarkar IAS Study Circle. So from that you have to study out. Then you have to refer out various books. Time to time I'm giving the names of that book also. So go through that and prepare your own notes. My lecture here, this is live lecture which is giving you guideline about that particular part. Now we discuss that return of Alexander, after that Mauryan Empire, after that invasion of Bactrian Greek, that particularly we discuss about Demetrius, how Demetrius reached till Ayodhya, and then he was defeated by Kharvel, the emperor of Kalinga. Uh, Pandaji, I will answer you afterwards. Now, when we are talking about this particular topic, that is foreign invaders, here we discuss about Demetrius, that is called as Bactrian Greek. Within few years, another Greek arrived in India. He was called as Parthian Greek, but some books refer him as Bactrian Greek also. Most probably, the answer is that he was Parthian. So ultimately, he was Greek. He was Parthian. Then he annexed out Bactria, and he came to India from Bactria. So maybe possible he's called as Bactrian Greek. His name is famous in Indian literature. His name is Menander. Now, Menander invaded India the same way Demetrius, and he also reached till Ayodhya. But here he decided to make a halt. Why? The reason is that Demetrius was penetrating deeper and deeper, and then he got problem that Kharvel, the Jain emperor of Kalinga, opposed him, and then he was defeated in consecutive battles. Whereas Menander decided to make halt over there, and then they say that all right, let us study out social condition in India by that time. And then he called a Buddhist monk named as Nagasena for debate. Now here, Alexander was having same opinion that he used to discuss with scholars of various nations. So same style he also followed. Nagasena was a great Buddhist monk, a very, very knowledgeable person and tricky also. When Menander said that I want to make debate with you, a simple question was asked by Nagasena, that you are an emperor and that is also foreign emperor. What is the guarantee that if you are getting defeated in this debate, then you'll not kill me? So Menander said, no, we are giving you full protection. All right. But when we are talking of debate, there must be some bet according to Indian condition. Yes. And Menander said, all right, if I'm the loser, I will do whatever you say, and vice versa. All right. And debate started. For 3 days, debate was there. That is called as uh, actually various questions. The simple mode of debate is that to ask questions constantly. When one can ask questions in repeated manner, the other person get trapped. But Nagasena was very great scholar, intelligent person, and instead of getting trapped, he was able to trap Menander at end of third day because he answered that questions very nicely. And ultimately, Menander accepted that he is defeated now. And then Nagasena asked him to accept Buddhism. He was converted to Buddhism. His name was changed from Menander to Milinda. And whatever the debate is there, that is recorded. Recorded means it is in written format. That is called as Milinda Panna in Pali language. In Sanskrit, it is Milinda Prashna. The questions asked by Milind and answer given by Nagasena is the thing. But where we can get very good essence. Say here, we have to consider Menander as a common man. No doubt, he was emperor, but here in this respect, we have to consider him as common man. Whereas Nagasena is the expert. And how he answered him, that is the Guru Shishya Samvad. That means a sort of Guru and his disciple, the dialogue. Milinda Prashna or Milinda Panna can be considered as essence of Buddhism. Now, Menander accepted Buddhism along with his army. And this is the marvelous task achieved by Nagasena. But here are some different scenarios there at Pataliputra. Last emperor of Mauryan dynasty, it was named as Bruhadratha Maurya, was executed because he was not able to defeat the invaders. And then he was executed by most probably his general, that is named as Pushyamitra Shunga. And then he established his own dynasty over Magad. He attacked over Menander. And in series of battles, Menander was defeated and he was thrown back till river Indus. Why not beyond Indus? Because now we accepted Indus as our boundary. And this way we defeated him beyond Indus. After a few years, this Pushyamitra Shunga decided to carry out a sacrifice, that is horse sacrifice. In previous lecture only I discussed about this type of sacrifice. This horse was stolen or taken by Yavanas. Yavanas means Greek people in Indus Valley. Whereas the great powerful son of Pushyamitra Shunga, named as Agnimitra, he was guarding out that horse and he defeated Yavanas and taken back horse from Yavanas. So like that things are mentioned. And then Pushyamitra carried out that horse sacrifice, that is Ashwamedha Yajna. Now this is the thing. If you are aware about the famous biography, poetic biography written by great poet Kalidasa, that is Malavika Agnimitram. So this is the Agnimitra who is referred here in this scenario. That is the love story between Malavika and Agnimitra. Now, this is something we got victory over Greeks again and again. Followed by this incident, within few years, Greeks started arriving India once again. So first time they came with Alexander. Second time under leadership of Seleucus Nicator. But Seleucus Nicator was defeated on border only. Whereas third under leadership of Demetrius, who reached till Ayodhya. Fourth under leadership of Menander, who also reached till Ayodhya. And now again they came, but they were here to find out asylum. The reason is that hordes of Scythians entered in Iran, that is Persia, and Greeks were displaced out from Persia. And they entered in Indian territory. They took shelter in India and decided to stay in India by accepting Indian culture. And this is the way Greeks dissolved in India. Either they accepted Buddhism or Vedic religion. Many of them converted to Hinduism, that is Vedikism, by considering themselves as Kshatriya. Some of them, like Menander, they accepted Buddhism. They also carried out lot of efforts in development of Buddhism in India. And this way, ultimately, Yavanas means these Greeks, find salvation in India. They dissolved in India. May be possible, our may be possible ancestors may be Greek. one of ancestor. You are aware that you have one mother, one father, but two grandfathers and two grandmothers, four great grandfathers, four great grandmothers. Like that, you count out the number of ancestors increase. Don't go by our present color of skin and looks. I'm saying maybe possible the mixing is there because they ultimately find dissolution there. Now, here we have to discuss a point. This is very relevant point here, that when we are talking about this impact of Greek attacks over India, many times we say that at time of Alexander only that we started learning out minting of coin from Greeks. Then we started uh, accepting out various principles in astronomy from Greek people. Say, for example, sun signs, the Rashi, that is the concept of Greek people. They divided a path of sun and moon in the sky. In the 12 parts, they are called as sun signs. That is Rashi Chakra. Whereas Indian astronomy people, they divided that path into 27 parts. They are called as constellation. In Sanskrit, nakshatra. So this way, ideas exchange that was there from Greeks to India, India to Greeks. But this is all the most probably impact of these latter Greeks. As we discussed, that Demetrius onwards, Greeks settled out in Indus Valley as a ruler, later on as a refugee. And that's why maybe possible this cultural impact may be there. In field of art and architecture also, they say, the Western historians, that there is tremendous impact of Greek art and architecture over Indian art and architecture. Particularly when we are talking about Gandhara School of Art, it is said that Gandhara School of Art is having influence of Greek architecture as well as Indian. But again, question is that what we are characterizing under Greek style. Now, one of my friend is Zoroastrian. He says that that is not Greek style, that is Persian style. And Persians were superior in those days. And so Greeks accepted that styles from Persian. Maybe possible. But when we observe seals from Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, or rather Indus Valley civilization, you'll find that peculiar things are popular in Indus Valley also. Now, can we call that the culture which was destroyed 5,000 years ago was influenced by culture which is formed 2,800 years ago? So, just impossible. But historians are saying that there are various impact of this Greek architecture over India. So, maybe possible. I don't know. Now we are talking about his influence, but rather than that, what we have to consider here, a single invasion of Alexander over Egypt was able to destroy entire Egyptian civilization. Keep in mind what culture was maintained by Egyptians till that was destroyed. Henceforth, no pyramids were constructed in Egypt. No doubt, Alexander carried out the tradition of knowledge in Egypt. He established city named Alexandria. University was set out there. Various Greek scholars start to stay at Alexandria only. That things were there, but still, whatever the original hieroglyphics were there, or whatever the pyramids, sphinx, like that constructions were not carried out by Egyptians in latter phase. It was part of Greek Empire, that is called as Hellenic world, later on Roman Empire, and this way, culturally, Egypt lost. Today also, Egypt is surviving. It is not something like Mesopotamia, that now no nation is named as Mesopotamia. There is no nation named as Babylon. But Egypt is there. But still, the culture that Egyptian people were following before Alexander's invasion and after is something different. But in India, the same culture, almost same culture, we are following till date. At time of Alexander also and today also. At that time of Alexander, Arya Chanakya was there, who was having dream to make undivided India, that is Akhanda Bharat. Today also many people in India, they have dream to make once again Akhand Bharat. Ideas are there. There are various benefits are there of getting converted into undivided India. And like that, things are there. Indian ideology is as it is. No much change happened. When we say that impact of foreign invaders, the maximum impacts over Indian culture were carried out only after British invaders. Keep in mind, prior to that, the invaders came here, they settled out here, they adopted Indian mode of living, and they dissolved in Indian community. Now, next invader, obviously Scythians. As we discussed in earlier lectures, from Ukraine onwards towards Mongolian side, there is territory that is called as steppes. The native hordes of people over there, they were called as Scythians. They invaded Iran, that is Persia. From that, they entered in Baluchistan territory, that is southwest of Pakistan. And from Bolan Pass, they occupied Sindh, and then they spread out in India. They were nomads. They were considering Greeks as ideal people for them. And that's why we'll find that Greek invaders lost. And then the next invaders entered in India, they were Scythians, but they continued to mint their coin in Greek language only. The coins were similar to Greek coins, but the names were different. The first invader, most probably named as Moga or Maus, Maus, something name is there of that person. We don't know exactly which kingdom was ruling over Sindh territory at that time, but Sindh was annexed by Scythians. In India, these Scythians were named as Shak or Sak. Oftenly, they were described as Mlech. Keep in mind these words. Mlech is usually considered as Central Asian nomadic tribal people. Yavan is Greek or say European person. Those who are coming to India, they were identified as Yavan. Romans were identified as harsh-speaking Yavanats. Whereas Yavana Priya, don't get confused, it was considered as black people. Why? Because Roman people were literally fond of consuming this. They were considering status symbol to consume black people. And therefore, black people, that is called as Yavana Priya in Indian literature. Anyway, so now Scythians invaded, they annexed out Gujarat. They annexed out parts of Rajasthan, Haryana. Like that, almost western parts of India were under influence of Scythians. They were called as Shak. Now, I'm keeping Mauryan Empire as it is. Now, Mauryan Empire is not there. It is called as now Shunga Empire. But that is Magad Empire. Western boundary is Scythians. They invaded. And we are coming to Maharashtra. The Maharashtrian territory that is called as, in old days at that time, it was called as Ashmak. We don't have historical records. The epical records are there, but historical records prior to this era, where it was not part of Chandragupta Maurya's empire, but it was part of Emperor Ashoka's empire. And then a person named as Simukh or Shrimukh, he revolted against this Mauryan empire after Ashoka the Great, and then he carved out his own kingdom from that empire. This is called as Satwahan kingdom. Historians are having debate that whether Satvahans belong to Maharashtra or Andhra, because in many times they referred as Andhra. Some people are saying that in Mahabharat epic, the people named as Aundra, they must be Andhra, and they must be Satvahans' ancestors. We don't know. But debate is there whether they were from Andhra Pradesh or they were from Maharashtra. And now many historians, they are accepting they were from Maharashtra. The thing is that what the archaeological evidences of early Satvans we are getting, they are all from Maharashtra. For example, their capital was Pratishthan, that is today called as Paithan in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra. Their monuments they carved out, they are maximum there in Maharashtra part. In latter phase, they annexed out Andhra Pradesh, parts of Tamil Nadu, parts of Karnataka, most probably. Okay, and then at end period, they lost out their power in Maharashtra, but continued to rule over Andhra Pradesh for nearly 200 to 250 years after their kingdom lost from Maharashtra. And that's why in latter phase they referred as Andhra. All right, so let us start discussion about this Satwan dynasty. The founder member, that is Simukh or Shrimukh, he was very shrewd and cruel person. He carved out his own kingdom. Soon it is converted into empire. Now India is not freed from casteism problem, and various historians are reporting out that these people were not Kshatriya. Now, some references they are making that they were pot makers. Some references saying that they were not pot makers also, they were tribal people. And some references are saying they were Brahman. According to one historian, they were not Brahman, but they achieved Brahmanical status in latter phase. So whatever the thing, I can surely say they were Indians. And they started carving out vast empire. This is the most important empire. As a result, say it was having tremendous trade opportunities. Particularly at that time, Hellenic world started losing out its importance, and in Europe, Roman Empire was setting up. Trade from Europe to India was enhanced after Greek invaders, and then we were taking out important some things from European people, most probably gold and precious stones and metals, whereas we were exporting out maximum spices along with handicraft and variety of things, medicines, herbs, etc. But most important thing we were exporting, they were spices from Indian territory. Satvans enhanced this trade. Junnar, that is the place in Pune district that was considered as marketplace, whereas there is one railway station on Mumbai Ahmedabad route that is called as Nala Sopara. It was actually Shurparaka port in old days. From that, maximum trade was going on. A route that covers Junnar to Shurparak was important. There, we had to cross out Western Ghat, that is Sahyadri mountain, and Ghat was constructed by Satvahan, where it is toll paid road. There was huge vessel made up of stone at beginning of this ghat. We have to put some coin, and then only we are allowed to travel. So this is coin in Sanskrit, or in old Marathi it is called as Nane. So this ghat is called as Nane Ghat. The toll route in India 2000 years ago. So as we are considering toll route in India is today, so no, it was there very old day. In return, Satvans were providing shelter there. There is huge pinnacle named as uh, Nanacha Angtha. Under that pinnacle, caves are there. They are carved out by these Satvans for traders. They can get shelter over there. Where the images of these Satvahan rulers were carved out. Unfortunately, the images are destroyed. Only foot portion of that image is remaining, whereas uh, provision for water, that means shelter, is there, and obviously this route is forest route, so some protection that is also given by Satvahan, and against that they were charging out something. Trade was at zenith. Demand was more. Supply started shortening out. And then Satvans carried out international trade. They purchased out spices from Yawadvipa, that is Java, Sumatra, that means present day Indonesia, Malaysia region, and they exported. Because of this all, tremendous wealth was there to the Satvahan rulers. And then they carved out various things in India, particularly Bhaje Cave, Karla Cave, Bedsa caves, Kondivde caves. Like that, various caves were uh, carved out during Satvahan period. Various forts were constructed during Satvahan period. But there was a time that empire started declining out. By that time, Scythians entered in Gujarat, and then the Nahapani's name of ruler, Scythian ruler, who invaded Maharashtra. Satvahans were defeated in earlier battles with Nahapan, and Nahapan annexed out vast part of Maharashtra, whereas a great ruler named as Gautami Putra Satkarni, say again name is important. See the tradition during Satvahan period that person was identified by name of mother, Gautami Putra Satkarni is name of ruler because earlier that two Satkarnis were there. So Gautami Putra Satkarni invaded, got power. He united this Satvahan kingdom once again, and Nahapan was defeated. In some book, it is mentioned that son of Nahapan, named as Rudradaman, was defeated. So whatever the things Scythian rulers were defeated, Scythians were get defeated from Maharashtra territory, and then most probably that Scythians accepted suzerainty of this Satvahan king named as Shalivahan or Gautami Putra Satkarni. From this part, they started out era that is called as Satvahan era. Actually, it is known as Shalivahana Shaka. So they say that Shalivahan is name of king and he defeated Shaka, so Shalivahan Shaka. But some historians are mentioning no, this is started by another foreign invader named as Kushan, named as Kanishka. He started that because the era of Shalivahan is somewhere after that. 100 AD onwards, there is part of Shalivahan, according to some historian, whereas Shalivahan era started at 78 AD. So some people are saying no, it may be starting out from birth date of Shalivahan Empire. So whatever the thing, but the era is called as Shalivahana Shaka. Scythians were defeated, and we are getting one of the evidence of demonetization at that time. What is that demonetization? We are getting coins of Nahapan in Gujarat. Yeah, it is there. But in Nashik district, we are getting coins of Nahapan. They are in that image of Nahapan is visible, but it is said that it is cut out. It is strike out something. And over that, the Satvahan symbols are minted. So that means they must have collected these silver coins, stamped out Satvahan, and returned back. What sort of demonetization activity was there during this Satvahan period? This is another evidence. In Naneghat, there is inscription where this Shalivahan king is mentioned as this way. I'm just speaking out this inscription. That is, Yavana Shaka Pallava Nisudana, Tri Samudra Toya Pita Vahana. So he's referred as Yavana, that means Greek, Shaka, Scythian, Pallava. Pallava is the word which is confusing one because in South Indian history also Pallavas are there. In North Indian history also these Pallavas are there. The word is Pahlav. It is territory from Persia. The Parthian Greeks were called as Pahlav. And so Yavana Shaka Pallava Nisudana. Yavana Greek, Shak Scythians, Pallav, Nisudana, destroyer of this. Tri Samudra, Toya Pita Vahana. Vahana, now here we have to consider as vehicle means horse, whose horses are drinking out water of all three seas. And that's why I said that most probably the Satvahan rule was extended in entire South Indian peninsula. We are getting evidence when we are discussing South Indian history. We are going to discuss that. But here, just I want to make reference. Near Chennai, there is place called as Gudimalla Lingam. I'm revising Gudimalla Lingam. Keep in mind when we are talking about South Indian names, they are usually longer. So Gudimalla Lingam is place which is considered as a strange thing because we are getting here Lord Shiva temple, only one temple built in Satwahan style over there. No other similar monuments are found out in nearby vicinity. That means Satwahan rule was there in Chennai, or influence of Satvahans may be there on Chennai or nearby territories at that time. Anyway, in North India also, a tremendous influence of Satvahans were there, particularly on Patliputra, that means Magad Empire. We are getting the dynasties. I checked out dynasties, I am not getting the clear idea. But after Shunga, there was a dynasty named as Kanva dynasty. And after Kanva, they are mentioning Satvahans. With my knowledge, Satvans were not extending out their territories till Patliputra. But they are mentioning out in various places that after Kanva, there was influence of Satwahan. So this is the extent of Satwahan. Now, I'm ending out this today's lecture here. Tomorrow, we are carrying out the further discussion. You are aware now Scythians are defeated here in Maharashtra, but they continue to rule. They accepted suzerainty of Satwahan, but they continue to rule in India. Tomorrow, we are going to discuss about next part of the history. Thanks for observing.